Auckland has entered an unprecedented stage of challenges with challenging opportunities, which really required innovative approach to be pragmatic, down to the earth to deal with the changing Auckland. Auckland now is at a crossroad, personally, I think, with the growing number of the newcomers from other part of the country and from global environment. More than one-fourth of Aucklanders born outside of Auckland, they bring with them expertise, qualification, experience, international connections, which is neglected or underutilized, which is a huge loss. They are priceless, valuable asset to this great city. You know, so my role as a new mayor will try to revitalize, reconnect, reutilize their abilities, their experience, their qualifications to make this city a real melting pot. Hong Kong, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, for example, they don't have much natural resources. Their major resources are human resources. So we got people from more than 200 countries flock to live in Auckland, more than 180 ethnicities. A lot of them are extremely talented people. So if properly utilized, they are all ambassadors to Auckland to promote Auckland. For example, this year is a New Zealand tourism year. Tourism does not increase, but on the other hand, it drops. So it has a huge impact to the hotels, to the tourism company, because 1 out of 10 people is related with tourism. And Auckland is the major port, international hub for the people to come here. If Auckland suffer a loss, it has a huge impact to the whole country. 1/3 of the Auckland people, they consist of 1/3 of the whole country's population, generally more than 38% of economy. If Auckland failed, the whole country failed. So we need a new mayor who got a great vision, ability, proactive, pragmatic, feasible, effective, transparent approach to deal with the current Auckland, not just use the old way of thinking. So it requires a new way of thinking of the 2020, not 1920 way of thinking, which can no longer adapt to the new challenging world. So we have to consider all this. And Auckland now is only about 1.5 to 0.6 million people population, but look, the traffic jam is horrible. It's worse than Manila, worse than Jakarta, worse than Bangkok. That means the current leadership lacks vision, lacks ability. It needs to improve. So I think as a new mayor, I got global perspective, vision with a global team. I can gather, include all the people coming from globally to work in an effective way in Auckland to run the new city. And also, I'll bump into another Hamilton mayoral candidate when I'm having coffee the other day. So I said I already include development of Hamilton, Tauranga as a golden delta together with Auckland as a major gateway and hub. So we are so happy. We already start to cooperate before we officially win the victory. Yeah. So I think Auckland has a great future. It just need to improve in efficiency, transparency, accountability, visibility, vision, and all this probably done. I think we have a great future. Also, my policy is quite simple. I just got the English word space. You know why space? Because the current council structure is already too fixed like concrete. People cannot think or move or breathe properly. It's like soil. The soil needs to be regular upturn the soil. And space is a DIY. Every Kiwi family got a spade. So do it yourself. So when we lay the new groundworks, we need a new spade. So space S stands for stop regional fuel tax. P stands for promote Auckland. Auckland does not promote itself in the last 2 years. So we are dropping behind from the top 10 in the last few years to top 12 globally. A means accelerate export. For example, trade, tourism, education, international connections. D means decrease land rate. Why we need to decrease land rate? When the economy is good, we can increase the land rate and other rates according to inflation and the income. When the economy is really bad, last 3 years, then we need to think to give the people something to breathe, so we can decrease the land rate. Because the house now, the price before median is about how million? Now it's about 1 million. And a lot of houses like Mission Bay, the two people come to me, one is 70, he said, although he lives in 3 million houses, but he's living on retirement pension. So he has to pay extra 7,000 New Zealand dollars annually. How can he make it? So life becomes really tough and hard for him. So we do not pay enough attention to these people. E stands for economic development. When we decrease the land rate, stop regional fuel tax, we need to think of the new way of getting the money, making the money for Auckland. For example, we actually don't have the regional fuel tax a couple of years ago, but people still manage. Transportation is even better than now when we got this money. We increase the land rate, but where does the regional fuel tax and land rate money goes to? Where do they spend? People don't know, have no idea. We see lots of grass growing madly in the public spaces. So that means on one hand, possibly the council are getting more money. On the other hand, they are reducing the service of the public services. And finally, S stands for sustainable environment. So while promoting development economy, we need to maintain to develop the council, the Auckland, in a sustainable way to leave the best path for the future generations. So this space stands for. So I welcome people from all Aucklanders to come to me to discuss with me about your worries, your concerns, what you need for a better Auckland in the future. So I want to be a Auckland new mayor who can really connect, coordinate, facilitate Auckland, not just keeping all the power into my own pocket. I give all the councillors, local members, the full right and responsibilities because they are elected by their wards, by their people. So they need to have the full right to make decisions, to realize their glory, their dreams, and to act on behalf of the people who chose them. Thank you.
John, Auckland Council has a lot of shareholding in the companies or in the public companies or even the assets like development arm, for example, Pioneer Crew or International Airport or Auckland Port.
Yeah.
Do you think Council should continue to emphasize on this or should reduce the shareholding and reduce the debt? Because it seems like the Auckland Council is having a big debt that we have to keep on paying the tax, paying the land rates so as to service the loan.
Personally, I'm not in a position to support the selling of the public-owned assets. You know, because when I worked in Auckland Regional Council days, Auckland Regional Council has spent lots of money and effort to acquire private land into the public land to make lots of parks for the council. So it became a valuable asset inherited by the current council. We need to find new way of making money, not just by selling things all the time, but sometimes some of the underutilized, low-value assets or property or some whatever can be swapped. You know, that's also normal. It's not saying that we cannot sell anything. Some of the parts we can sell some other, just like in the stock market. Some of the shares or stock is not good, we can sell a little bit and buy some good quality stocks and good quality projects, which needs professional people to do that. And the current other two candidates, Johnny with the labor background, they've been in the party for about 40 years. They don't have this kind of experience. Well, I do. I'm a professional by training. I'm a professional all throughout my life. So I'm good at finding new way of making business. making money for the new council.
John, your international connections would assist in things like public-private partnerships.
Definitely. Like the New Zealand's first 5-star plus hotel, Park Hyatt Hotel, is a kind of PPP, a new model in some way. The council owns the land and lease to the investor. The investor invests there for certain years and run the hotel for the public infrastructure. So council realized the project. If the council invests for the 5-star hotel, it's never possible. We don't have the money. So I left together with my former colleagues in the waterfront Auckland, which are so smart people. At that time, the chairman is Sir Bob Harvey, the CEO is John Dalzell, and all the board of directors. At that time, the deputy chair is Adrian Young Cooper and other senior management team. I think they are all brilliant people, professionals, pragmatic people. But unfortunately, these capable, smart people, visionary people, all left council now, pinched by the private enterprises. Yeah. So I think the PPP, with my background, I'm instrumental in bringing a lot of the investors to this council, like ICBC and other things. I think my background is a huge help to solve the technology problem, funding problem, and technology problem as well. Yeah, that's why I work all with the other professional companies like the top 5 CPA, a law firm, banks. Yeah.
How about the transport? What is your short and long-term planning to fix the problem of the Auckland transport?
Auckland transport now is actually everybody complain, you know. It's now 7-day traffic jams, getting worse and worse, although charge more original fuel tax. But not much money put into the public transport, like the bus, for example. We are having the double deck or even big bus, but a lot of time it's running empty. Only one people sitting there, one passenger. I think we need to take different approach. For example, we can have minibus in the early morning from 6 to 8, 10 people, so that by increasing frequency, every 10 or 15 minutes, there's one bus going. Then within 1 hour, they got 4 or 5. Then people get utilized to the new commute habit. They got a bus waiting there. Currently, the big bus, if they miss chance, they have to wait another hour. So people normally give up the transportation. And secondly, I think the students, the uni students, a lot of them need to go to uni in the quite early morning. So that also increase the traffic jam. But if we give all these uni students free opportunity to take the bus in the early morning, so the people can, every 10 or 20 people gather together, go into the city, then reduce lots of the private car usage. So they also reduce the private transport on the road. And of course, increase the public transportation is important because the house scattered around different places. If the bus does not come regularly, people cannot wait. So they cannot wait for half an hour for another bus. So that's why they take their private car. But if every 15 minutes there's one bus, then people can still manage to wait for the bus.
John, would you consider starting the City Council work hours earlier in the morning to give perhaps that would take some pressure off the public transport system as well?
Actually, we can, the modern way of working, because of the thanks to the convenience of the communication, a lot of people can have a shift. Like a PwC already adopted a new way of working. 1 week, maybe 1 day or 2 days working at home or in certain place close to the home, so that reduce the traffic jam. That kind of way can be adopted as well. If just simply going to work early, it does not solve the major issues. Yeah. For example, some of the meetings can happen in different locations. So this kind of people, they're pre-arranged. Then they can have the meeting either in North Shore or in Manukau. No, people do not need to come to the city. Like a resource concern or building concern, we can have one-stop office in a city here, Auckland, but in different 4 more 7 cities, we got the branch offices there. We can have the site manager to connect with the local industry, so that people does not need to come to the city all the time. Yeah, I think it's a global practice. I travel globally and see the opportunities and challenges of all global major cities. Auckland is a beautiful city but a small population, so I think the things seem difficult to the other candidates seems not a major challenge to me. Yeah.
Talking about the Auckland unitary plan, so because of the increase in the densities, so that creates other side problems now. Like for example, there's not enough schools,
Yeah.
there's not enough health centers to cover for the increase in the population. So do you think the Auckland unitary plan is working, or we should refine it, or we should improve it?
Actually, although it's a long process of consultation, but a lot of people are not invited or have no interest or do not take part in the consultation process, although it takes a couple of years for the consultation process. For example, 1/3 of the new migrants contribute to the building industry, but because of the language skill or they are outside of, they lack opportunity to be engaged, whatever reason, this 1/3 of the major building industry, and they do not take part in the consultation at all, but they contribute about more than 1 billion annually to this industry. So I think a lot of the plan need to be reviewed as well. Yeah. You know, from the paper to practice, there's always a gap. So any new policy, if turns out well, it can be continued. If doesn't work properly, then can be readjusted. Yeah, just like the national policy, the Kiwi Build or whatever other things. Of course, we cannot dump any flagship project easily, which we need to think things carefully before becomes a policy or even a bylaw. It's time to choose your right mayor, Jong Hom. I can do it.